We got a jam-packed show here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Bears head coach Ben Johnson spoke to the media today and praised Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders. I have some thoughts on that. He also discussed the importance of this game for the Bears and why it is critical that Chicago wins this game, and then some pretty interesting and positive Bears injury news to discuss, as well as hopefully they're getting healthy at the right time. All right, week 15 is here, and wow, we're getting crushed. I had to double check. Browns report over the first couple of days of the week has 492 new subscribers. We only have 70. That is that's a bad omen for Sunday. Let's not leave things to chance. If you want free and daily Bears content, if you want to catch up, close the gap on the Browns report, hit that subscribe button, and let's go. Shedeur Sanders was named the starting quarterback for the rest of the season for the Cleveland Browns. This will be his fourth start as he comes to Soldier Field. And Ben Johnson was asked about the Browns rookie quarterback earlier today. He said, quote, "This team, really the last 3 games with the new quarterback, you can feel the offense picking it up a little bit. He's a dangerous player." He later said he's doing a great job as a rookie. He was able to soak up the offense in the spring and summer and early into the season. You can tell that's probably benefited him to a degree. Now he's able to go out and let it loose. He does a great job of extending the play and creating on his own as well. I think Kevin Stefanski does a phenomenal job. Now you look at the raw numbers. They're not overly impressive, right? 52.4%, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. It's like, okay. But I will say, he did go 4 for 16 in relief against the Ravens, I believe it was, in his first action. So if you take that out of it, in his 3 starts, 57.5%, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, almost about 240 yards per game passing. Okay, I will say this. I've watched a decent amount of him. He has injected some life into that offense, and he does give them some big playability that Dylan Gabriel simply was not. Shedeur doesn't have the biggest arm, but he is able to attack downfield. He can throw over the middle of the field. Gabriel simply cannot due to his height being 5'10". So I would agree with Ben Johnson that he's done some good things. Now, dangerous player, that might be a stretch, but I mean, what's Ben going to do? Go up there and be like, he's a scrub. A, he's not a scrub, and B, I do think, I'll put it this way, I'd much rather face Dylan Gabriel than Shedeur Sanders, so I do think he's at least shown enough good things that if you're the Bears, you have to take him seriously, and I think this team's done a good job of taking everyone seriously, so not concerned about that anyway. Now, I will say this, there is a big advantage for Chicago in this one. We'll talk about this more on a video tomorrow morning. Wind chill temperatures are expected to be as low as negative 20 degrees on Sunday. A, that's really freaking cold. And B, Shedeur, while he's a decent athlete, decent arm, doesn't have a great arm. I think if it's super windy and cold, it's going to be tough for him to generate explosives, whereas the Bears and Caleb Williams, much stronger arm, they should at least have a better opportunity of doing that. So I do think that's a big advantage for the Bears. Again, we'll talk more about that in a video tomorrow. Okay, predict the score, Bears-Browns, who you got, and what is the final score going to be? I'll give my prediction in a video later this week. The stakes are high for the Chicago Bears this week and in every game from here on out. 9-4 currently in the playoff picture. And Ben Johnson talked about the importance of winning this game for Chicago. He said, quote, "We have goals and we know what's out in front of us. Every game matters. This week you go from an emotional rivalry game like we just played. This week is equally as important. We need this win. We desperately need this win." I trust Ben, these players, Kevin Byard talked about it too today, to be locked in. Because he's absolutely right. He has consistently said the last few weeks, you're probably going to have to get to 11 wins to make the playoffs. We've talked about that as well. It's going to take at least 2-2 to get in. 10 wins isn't getting you in this year. So you're 9-4. You got 4 games left. The Browns, easily the easiest one left. You can't afford to trip up here. So this is a critical game for the Chicago Bears in terms of fighting for their playoff lives. So You just can't afford to slip up, and I trust the Bears to be locked in. Doesn't guarantee a win or anything, but I don't think they'll get caught looking ahead. Kevin Byard said, I don't believe in trap games. Every game is critical, so I think that this team will be ready. But don't overlook this game if you're Chicago, because if you somehow slip up, your path becomes a lot more difficult. Before we continue, today's show is sponsored by Ethos, fast and easy life insurance. Life insurance is one of the most important investments you can make in your family. Now with Ethos, you can get covered and protected in minutes with rates as low as $2 per day, billed monthly. You can also get up to $3 million in coverage. As a husband and father, having life insurance is absolutely vital, and it's something I don't want to take for granted. Ethos is revolutionizing the insurance industry with a 100% online process and can provide protection for you and your loved ones. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. With Ethos, you can get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. They have no medical exams, just a few easy health questions online. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 2,400 reviews. I trust them, so do several others. You should too. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. Get a free quote today. Application times may vary, rates may vary. Link is in the description and comments of this video. You look at the NFC playoff picture. This is why Ben says it's probably going to take at least 11 wins. Why? Because 9 with 4 weeks left is the 7th seed for the Chicago Bears. Now, 9 is also the 2 seed. Green Bay, winning last week, was able to jump back up. So the Bears not only could miss the playoffs theoretically, they could still get the 1 seed. That's how nip and tuck it is. But you just simply cannot afford to lose to the Browns. The New York Times playoff predictor paints it very clearly. If they win this week, get to 10-4, their playoff chances jump to 77%. If they lose, they fall to 53%. So you lose this game, it's basically a coin flip. You win this game, 3 out of 4 chance you're making the postseason. So it is very important to get this win because your final 3 games are going to be difficult. Packers at home, at the 49ers, Lions at home. Now you get 3 out of your final 4 at home. That is something that hasn't been discussed much. The Bears just went 5-2 in a stretch where you played 5 out of 7 on the road. That is pretty impressive. But now you get the rewards of that with 3 out of 4 at home, even if 3 of your final 4 games are difficult. So if you can go 2-2, you're in the playoffs almost certainly. Beating the Browns gets you halfway there, right? You beat the Browns, you win 1 out of your final 3, you're probably in the wild card. Beat the Browns, you win 2 out of your final 3, pretty decent chance you win the division, depending on which 2 teams you beat in the final 3. Okay, let's get to some injury news. Is Kyler Gordon done for the year? Ben Johnson earlier today said, to be determined regarding his status. Coming out of that one, the Packers game where he got hurt in warmups, it didn't look very good. It's his 3rd soft tissue injury of the year. I don't expect him back. He was a DNP today. I wouldn't be shocked if they put him on an IR. You got 4 games left. You know, if he could return for the playoffs and give you something in a limited role, maybe. But, you know, Ben said it on Monday. The predictor for these soft tissue injuries is when you've had them before, and he's had 3 of them this year. So it might just be best to shut him down and start kind of the rehab process for the offseason. And, you know, they need to find a new approach with him because they've always been an issue, but this year it's been the whole season, and that's really, really frustrating. And for those saying, and I've seen this going around on social media, they're done with him, they're going to cut him. They can't cut him. Kyler Gordon is going to be on this team next year. They just gave him a 3-year extension, which starts next year. Now, they put some of the money this year, so that helps a little bit. They could get out of his contract next year. They could get out of some of it if they traded him, but who's trading for a nickel corner making $13 million per year in a year where he may have only played in 2 or 3 games or whatever? I don't think he's really tradable either, so he's going to be on the team. Cap hit is over $13 million next year. If you cut him, it jumps up to $17.5 if it's before June 1st. Even if he's a post-June 1 cut, you only save $800,000. The dead money is still $12.5 million. So he'll be back in 2026. The Bears have to find a plan for his health. How can they limit these injuries, these soft tissue injuries? Groin, hamstring, it keeps happening. It just keeps happening. And, I don't know if the Bears are going to look at their strength and conditioning staff as a whole, but for him specifically, they need a new plan because this year has just been an absolute disaster. How concerned are you about Kyler moving forward? Scale of 1 to 10. Like Ben said, once these pop up, the more likely and susceptible they are moving forward. I'm like a 7 or 8, man. Like it's always going to be something that's lurking. Hopefully he can get back and healthy next year. Like if you told me today, hey Harrison, you can check a box that says he'll play in 12 out of 17 games next year, I'd probably check it and just take it because I have concerns about his ability to stay healthy. So he was a DNP today. Now these are injury estimates. They went through a walkthrough coming off that physical game against Green Bay. Travis Homer did not practice either, dealing with that ankle injury, so we'll keep an eye on that. He's obviously a key special teamer. Some good news, some positive news on a couple key players. Odunze, Tyrique, Stevenson. Stevenson's missed the last couple games. Odunze missed last week with that foot injury, reportedly dealing with the stress fracture there. Stevenson's been out a few games with that hip injury. Would be nice to get him back into that corner rotation. I give Nick McLeod credit for going out there and battling, but if Jalen Johnson can't quite play a full threshold of snaps, I'd rather have Tyrique Stevenson out there than Nick McLeod. And then Olamide Zaccheaus, I'm not too concerned about that one. But Odunze and Stevenson, those are positive signs. Now, you could debate, especially with Odunze, like Browns at home, freezing cold weather. Should you give them another week? I think had you beaten the Packers at Lambeau, that would be a super easy decision. You don't even mess around with either of these guys. But if they're healthy, they're healthy. These games all matter right now. So I could certainly understand both sides of the coin when it comes to two of your better players. Jalen Johnson, Ruben Hiplight, both full. Good news on Hip. He's missed the last couple of weeks with the shoulder injury. Can at least give you some depth there. And I'm guessing the reason they keep mentioning Jalen on the report is he hasn't been playing full thresholds of snaps, like I was saying. So clearly he's still in somewhat of a ramp-up period still. Otherwise, he wouldn't be on the injury report. And again, these are estimations. This was a walkthrough practice, so tomorrow will be more telling. But in general, this is a relatively light injury report compared to what we've seen in recent weeks. So hopefully that's a good sign of getting healthy. Remember, after this week, that'll be 4 games for Tremaine Edmonds. Hopefully he can get back soon. I'm not sure he'll be back for Green Bay next Saturday. That's a relatively short week, but maybe he could go to San Francisco and play, or at least Week 18 against Detroit. So could be getting some key guys back. Brad Biggs also had the news, along with a few others, that the Bears have signed linebacker Ty Summers to the practice squad. He's bounced around 16. TCU legend, I'm very familiar. Actually had a couple classes with him when I was at TCU, believe it or not. Special teamer. He had a couple good years in Green Bay. That's where he's most known for. I think he was with the Saints for a bit as well. Remember, I think they've elevated Jalen Reeves-Maybin at least once, if not twice. So it gives them another body if they need to elevate someone for special teams duties. So take that in stride as well. And part of that, too, is Carl Jones Jr. got claimed off waivers yesterday. So they would have just brought him back, but someone claimed him. And I'm blanking who it was. Might have been the Ravens. Can't remember. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to the show. We will see you guys very, very soon. And bear down, as always.